little video clip. My name's Stephen, I'm with Amy, and again this is our amateur video, so bear with us. The idea of this session is for you as the assessor to, and it'll help if I showed you, ta-da, understand how to plan and collect evidence from the plan, understand what knowledge evidence is, understand what performance evidence is, understand what consent is, and understand confidentiality. Equally, it's really important that your candidate, when you're working with them, understands the same. Because the more you empower your learner to understand the process of their qualification, the more likely it is that they're going to be engaged and motivated to complete their award. And if the learner understands the difference between performance and knowledge, then they can collect the evidence and they should be able to lead the qualification themselves. On a level 2 qualification, I would accept the fact that the assessor should lead it. When we're looking at level 3 qualifications, we are talking slightly more around the fact that the learner should be able to look at a standard, interpret that standard, and then produce the evidence for it. With that in mind then, should we then not be empowering and teaching our level 2 students this? So when they get to that stage, we've planned and prepared them, and it's not going to be a shock. It's a bit like getting somebody ready to go from secondary school to college or from college to university. As tutors, as educators, we have a responsibility to prepare our learners for their next steps. By us holding everything back and controlling everything and not involving the learner, we're failing our learners straight away. Within our company, one of our main values and ethoses is that we empower our learners, and it's our first E in education. With that in mind, I'll now turn to Amy and we'll have a discussion about collecting evidence for her qualification. And we'll talk about inclusivity, the candidate being involved, and differentiation, making every plan different. It's so easy to do, you just have to have the confidence to have that discussion with the learner. You can have the same outcomes for everybody, but not everybody is going to achieve it in the same way, and it's down to us to draw from the candidate what they want, and then us support them to select the best methods. So, let's hope this session inspires you to have those discussions with your candidates and to collect a range of evidence. As in my previous DVD or video clip, you saw me lose my voice, so I have a ticker cup of coffee to keep me through this session. Hello, Amy.
Hello.
So, you've just heard what I was saying. Now, obviously, you're aware in your apprenticeship you've got your main part, which is the competency, and then there's the diploma part, the knowledge part, which is your technical certificate. And what I need to do is have that discussion with you so you understand the difference between performance and knowledge.
Yeah.
Because if you know the difference, then when I'm working with you and when I'm not working with you, you'll be able to collect evidence that you think is appropriate. So first of all, performance evidence and performances are tasks that you physically carry out, and it's something that you do. Okay. Knowledge is really that. It's something that you know, okay, and it's something that you can demonstrate through what's up here. So let's just have a discussion around performance evidence first, and then obviously what I want you to do is think about you as a learner, think about your learning styles, and then you tell me which ones you think best suits you. And then what I'll do is I'll make a note, so when we carry on planning, I know that I'm picking the right methods with you. Okay? So first of all, we have observation. Now observation unfortunately is mandatory. Yeah. We have to have that. But what an observation is, it's me observing you within the workplace against a set standard of criteria, and then obviously meeting the benchmarks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
So observation is 100% performance, and it is there for me to observe. If in your observation though you're talking, then we may be able to capture some knowledge. Okay, but that talking is not an observation. That talking becomes either a professional discussion or almost an account of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's two separate things. I need to see you do something, and then I need to understand why you do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have observations. Okay. Other performance evidence then is you writing essays around reflective practicing. So that's where you can sit there and you discuss within your reflective account everything you do. So it might be, you know, today I got up, I brushed my teeth, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. How does that sound as a method? Do you like typing and writing? It's not one of your
it's not
things.
one of the best, no.
Okay, so if we was to score it out of, I don't know, 1 to 10, where would you range it? 1 being brilliant, 10 being ugh.
7 or 8.
So 7 or an 8. Okay. Now, other methods we've got are expert witness testimonies or witness testimonies. Now, an expert witness testimony might be your manager who's observed you do something, and I can do a recording with them, ask them what they saw, and record that. And how does that sound? Do you have a manager that would support you in that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you was like, yeah, that sounds a good method. Okay, so if you was to score that, how excited would you be about me using that method with you?
3.
3, okay,
Yeah.
super. Now, witness testimonies are slightly different from expert witnesses. They're about your colleagues that work alongside you, who potentially could then give a statement. So do you have people that work alongside you that aren't expert witnesses? I don't think you do, do you? So we can't use witness testimony because actually you haven't got any witnesses within that role. Okay, so that's not appropriate, that's fine. Other performance evidence might be work products and confidential work products. So work products are documents that you have filled in, created or made. So do you have any of those that I could look at?
Yeah.
Okay. And confidential work products would be more data sensitive, around staff files and things like that. Have you got any of those that I could see?
Yeah.
Okay. So would you be confident for me to look at those and assess those?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, how excited would you be about that?
A bit more than the other one, 9.
So 9 being the worst.
Oh, no.
1 to
other way around.
2.
2.
Okay, so we'll put those down as 2. So they're there as well. And the other performance evidence that I can get from you is a professional discussion. A bit like what we're doing now, we're just having a discussion around what you do. How comfortable are you around professional discussions?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. So if you should score that.
1's the best.
Yeah, 1's the best, 10's the worst.
4.
So 4.
Yeah.
So looking at that then, for us to get your performance evidence, so if we had any standards that says demonstrate, do, show, which is all performance, what you're saying to me is you'd like to ideally cover it with a work product first, if we could, then grab the expert witness to support that, have a discussion around it, and obviously I have to observe it anyway. And you'd be quite happy with that selection of methods. Alright, excellent. So that's performance. Okay. Now let's look at the knowledge. Now again, knowledge we can do lots of different ways as well. The first thing from knowledge really is obviously a professional discussion. We can get your knowledge from what you're doing, and you've already graded that a 4 anyway, so we'll keep that. Now we've got written questions. How comfortable are you with written questions? You don't really like written questions, and there's a lot of written questions, isn't there? So score that for me.
7 or 8.
So again, up with a reflective account, isn't it? Okay. Oral questions. So oral questions is where I ask you something and we can record it. You don't like that either. Is that because you feel like you've been put on the spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's intimidating.
Okay, so how would you score that?
Yeah.
The same. Okay. So interesting then. It's not necessarily about the writing. It's about that being put on the spot thing. Okay. What about multiple choice questions? You happy with MCQs? Yeah. How would you rate that?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing that we've got is like our VLE, our virtual learning environment, online classrooms and things where we can pull much out of that. What do you think of those? You happy with online classrooms?
Yeah.
How would you score that? A 3 there. Okay. The other assessment methods that we can use for knowledge is case studies or exams. So if we do case studies, no, you don't like. Again, is that going to be? Where is that going to be? The same up there. Okay. And then exams.
I don't mind them.
It's about 5 in the middle. All right. Well, the good news is you don't have many exams to do, but obviously you only have one to do, which is your ICT.
Yeah.
Now, methods we can't get from knowledge is obviously witness testimonies and expert witness testimonies, because your witnesses don't know why you are doing something. They may be able to say, I saw you do that, but it's very unlikely that they're going to say, I saw Amy do that and she then told me because of X, Y, Z. So it's very hard to get that kind of knowledge. On a level 2, I don't have a problem using pretty much the PD, MCQ, VLE and exam approach for you to meet your knowledge outcomes. When we hit level 3, it will become slightly more written because there's got to be an academic feel to that. And then when we get to your level 5s, because I know you want to go into the higher levels, it is very much then academic, but then it's less professional discussion, less multiple choice. It is more kind of structured and tight, but the two then tie together there.
That's fine.
Okay. So what we'll do then, when we do planning sessions, I'll bear that in mind, and then obviously when we look at the standards, we go through them like we did earlier. So earlier what we done, we went through the standards and we marked down by each of them. We marked whether it was going to be an expert witness, reflective account or observations. So you can see every learner will achieve that in a different way, and that's where you get your differentiation from. So yes, it is the same outcome, there's no dispute about that, but then it's the same outcome for every awarding body delivering that qualification. So we're not saying we're copying or it's templated, but what we are saying is there are a range of methods that we can use, and during those range of methods it's about selecting the right ones, not for us but for the learner. And when you write your plan and your justification, it's about inclusivity. It's not what we want, it's not what your QA wants, it's what best meets that learner's needs. Because if you're making somebody do something that they hate, then they're not going to do it, and they're not going to feel empowered or motivated or supported to do it. And if we do need to get them to do things that's against their learning styles, then we need to bear that in mind when we're assessing it, because they've made it clear that that's not their strength. Equally, we can change the way that we gather the evidence, and I'll just show you how on that one. So, Amy, earlier on the performance evidence, reflective accounts, which is obviously the bit where we were saying you type up your stories and stuff, you didn't really like that. What if I was to say to you, you could do your reflective account a different way? Would you be interested in that? So what we could do, if you like talking, and again you're quite comfortable, we've got the DVR on recording this for her portfolio. Would you be happy then just to sit there and talk about your day? Than what you would write it? And what would that then change that 8 to?
4.
A 4. So it's made it half better for you, really, isn't it? Super. So we'll bear that in mind. Obviously, your role does require you to have accurate English writing skills.
Yeah.
But the fact that you've already got your functional skill anyway in that, and you've got a GCSE grade C, and you've done your BKSB diagnostic, and it shows that you're okay.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really think we need to stretch you and keep saying, you know, write more, write more, write more, because it's not going to make you any more competent in writing. So that's brilliant. So what we've done there is a little bit of negotiating with the learner, and obviously if I need to now use that assessment method for the learner to reflect on their practice and obviously do a reflective account, we've still got the same evidence. She's still going to give me a day-to-day story about what she's done and how she's done it. The only difference is she's going to do it verbally. And with an electronic portfolio, that makes it a lot easier for them to upload. And if you involve the learner in the planning process, like I have, where we've gone through and we've marked each outcome, what you can say to that learner is, okay, as you produce your reflective account, I want you to mark off the ones you think you've met. And by doing that, you're encouraging them to read the standards and for them to assess their own criteria, leaving you as the assessor in the position that you should be in, which is assessing their work, and obviously ensuring that the learner understands the competencies that they're claiming. And then if they've over-assessed themselves or under-assessed themselves, you can have that discussion with them and say, okay, well, I don't think you've met that standard because, clearly explaining more detail to what that standard means and involves, rather than saying, yes, you've met that, or no, you haven't met that. So hopefully there we've covered what knowledge is and what performance is. Now we're just going to cover the final bit, which is around consent and confidentiality. So first of all, Amy, with your work and things, are you happy for me to obviously pass that on to somebody else to have a look at?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Because sometimes we do standardisation and other assessors will want to see how we're marking and judging.
Yeah.
So if you're happy for me to pass that on, that's really good, and I'll make a note of that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we talked about work products earlier, didn't we? Confidential work products and things. So before you allow the assessor to look at that, you must make sure that you can get consent from the manager to say that it's okay for me to have a look, because there may be some data sensitive materials there that obviously the assessor shouldn't be seeing.
Yeah.
And equally, just around confidentiality, it's important for you to understand everything that we discuss remains confidential unless it becomes an issue where it becomes a duty of care where you're putting yourself or others at harm. And obviously, when I give you feedback, again, that's confidential. It's a discussion between you and I, and obviously the quality assurance team who hear it. So thank you for that, Amy, because for me, it's really useful now with your learning style assessment that we've done, and with this, we can really move forward for you and plan the qualification now around you, and hopefully that'll inspire you to achieve more.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's go to the review. So in summary then, what we've just discussed is ways to collect evidence for the plan. We've discussed the observation being the primary source of evidence. It has been since day dot for as long as I can remember, and it probably will be moving forward. We've discussed other methods such as reflective accounts. The problem with reflective accounts is a learner can write pages and pages and pages and it not actually meet any of the standards because they're not writing it in the correct way where it draws the things that we need. Sometimes learners need a lot of support around writing reflective accounts, and the evidence that you get, the quality of it really isn't worth the assessor's time. And by giving somebody a unit and saying, there's a unit, just answer it, that's not a reflective account. So we need to make sure that when we do get reflective accounts, that we are getting the quality from them, you know, and we can audit them as an assessor. We can say, well, okay, when did this take place? Who were the witnesses? Can I speak to any of them? We've gone through and we've discussed whether or not she has in her place of work an expert witness and a witness. A lot of people shy away from expert witnesses. It's an assessment method that can be used, so why not use it? You know, it takes a little bit longer, I agree, to do the induction of an expert witness, but it's not about how much time it's taking us. It's, does it meet the learner's needs, and is it appropriate? So bear that in mind. Moving down, we have then the witness testimonies and the work products. Again, you know, I could have set her this task, go give me a witness testimony, but if she hasn't got any, it's a pointless task me setting for her. And finally, obviously, around the work products and things like that, obviously we can have, she's quite happy for me to see those, and we've obviously discussed the areas of consent and confidentiality. Performance, great. Knowledge as well, we discussed those, and we went down, holding the professional discussion is a great way of getting knowledge. She's not too keen on the written questions or the oral questions, so we'll try and avoid those as best we can. She's quite happy to do multiple choice questions, so again, if that's what motivates her, that's something that we should provide for her to do. She's quite happy going online, completing VLEs and distance learning things, so by getting recognition of prior learning and completing online courses also shows knowledge there as well. She wasn't too keen on the case studies. Some people love them, some people loathe them. And finally, the exams. Again, it's a bit like the observation. For an apprenticeship, there's nothing you can do. It's a required assessment method. However, what we can do, if we know that at the beginning, we've then got time to work with them to build their confidence. We obviously discussed about consent and the importance of gaining consent from people and the rights around confidentiality. So, for more information, you can email me, or you can visit the website and check out the Assessor's Handbook. And in the Assessor's Handbook, it lists all the assessment methods and their strengths and weaknesses. What I would say is, it's not your qualification, it's your learners, and allow the learner the opportunity to plan their qualification, because if they're involved, then you have inclusivity, you have complete differentiation, and you have learner engagement. Thanks for watching, and the next how-to clip in the assessment cycle is based upon giving the candidate feedback. Thanks for watching.